Hello, one and all. It's my view of My Hero Academia, Chapter 331, United States of America. And that is a fairly accurate title, given this is probably one of the most American chapters of any series I've ever seen before. Seriously, Miss Stars and Stripe turned to a 1,000-foot-tall giant, then grabbed a bunch of military lasers, combined them into a giant lightsaber, stabbed the dude with it, and then ordered a military strike on a foreign nation with absolutely zero oversight. Now that is freaking America. USA! 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 Woo! And honestly, what I think most after this chapter is I am terrified. I am truly, truly terrified because this is not the final fight of the series. I mean, it could be. That'd definitely be a very interesting way for Horikoshi to end all this, but unless he's really going crazy here, this is not the final fight of the series. Deku still needs to fight Shigaraki. Deku still needs to fight All For One. And as far as I know, Deku can't create a 1,000-foot-tall giant stand of himself to fight in his place. So, yeah, I mean, what exactly is Deku gonna do in his big final battle? I mean, a lot of people are saying, oh, Deku's gonna use his talking jutsu. He's gonna basically convince Shigaraki not to want to murder him for some reason, somehow, some way. And, they'll just be friends. Huzzah! And I do think there's definitely some truth to that, at least somewhat. I mean, my big plan, my big idea for how the series is going to end is that Deku will basically talk to Shigaraki, awaken the little boy inside of him, awaken Shimura, awaken his child itself, and basically convince him, hey, let's team up and go kick All For One's butt. And they will. Yay! And then after that, Deku will bring Shigaraki to Eri, and Eri will basically revert him back into his childhood self, basically make him a kid again, allow him to have a second chance of life, allow him to basically, become a hero someday, and not become a genocidal maniac. I mean, that would be a bit problematic, considering that Shigaraki has murdered so many hundreds or thousands of people, but I think we can blame most of that on All For One, and, just sweep under the rug. Everyone deserves a second chance, even homicidal maniacs. Unlikely though. Very, very unlikely. So Deku is gonna need to figure out somehow, some way to be in the same level as this. A lightsaber-wielding giant, and, yeah, I really don't know how he's gonna do that. Unless he gets some serious power boost between now and then. I'm at a loss. I am definitely at a loss. Especially if Shigaraki manages to get his hands on New World Order, on Star and Stripes quirk, because that would make him, a god, a literal freaking god who would have absolutely no restraints and could basically just, wipe out all of humanity very, very easily. So, yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's really hope that doesn't happen. I mean, like I said before, my other videos, my best guess is that she's either gonna die before Shigaraki has hands on her quirk, or she can use her quirk to basically erase herself from existence, erase her quirk from existence. New Order, Star and Stripes quirk no longer exists. Huzzah! I mean, that would make sense. It seemed like be within the range of possibilities for her quirk. But if so, what was the point of any of this? What was the point of her big fight against Shigaraki? Was just showing that, help from other countries, help from foreign heroes won't be coming because they tried sending their best hero and it went, very, very poorly? I mean, I'm not sure about that. Though there is definitely something interesting at the end of the chapter. Commander Akbar, obviously, it's a reference to Star Wars, Admiral Akbar, it's a trap, all that. I mean, I've never even seen Star Wars, but even I could tell, oh, there's a reference to that. But this still makes me wonder, could there be more to this than, just a reference? Could this whole thing actually be a trap? Could it be that Shigaraki, or All For One, are actually trying to get their hands on the state-of-the-art hypersonic institutional course missiles? I could definitely see them wanting to get their hands on intercontinental cruise missiles because, they are really powerful and would make it much easier for Shigaraki and All For One to take over the entire world. So does Shigaraki have some sort of method or way of basically capturing the missiles without triggering them, without making them go off, and basically taking them for himself? I mean, that would make a certain amount of sense. Maybe? I'm not sure about that. Otherwise, not really sure how he's planning on surviving, intercontinental missiles. Yeah, those are going to do a bit of damage, quite a bit of damage, especially if they're nukes, which, I mean, I think they would say if they're nukes, it would say they are nuclear intercontinental missiles, but I'm not sure about that. I mean, yeah, his healing abilities are utterly ridiculous, but I still think radiation might be enough to, put him down for good, so very, very curious about the missiles and what's going to happen with this whole fight. I mean, like I said, it really, really feels like Star and Stripes' quirk is just way, way too powerful to actually, be even considered a quirk, and Shigaraki really, really shouldn't get his hands on it. I mean, I said last chapter is more like an ability from Hunter x Hunter, and this chapter seems to agree with me because Shigaraki even says it practically redefines what a quirk can be, and then goes on to do a Hunter x Hunter level of explanation as he tries to figure out exactly how her quirks works. I mean, seriously, this is just paragraphs and paragraphs of text. Oh, that definitely felt like a Hunter x Hunter reference, and honestly, her giant form kind of felt like a JoJo reference, with the stand. Oh, I love it. I freaking love it. But basically, as we explained last chapter, there's a limit to how much strength she can actually apply to something. She can only make herself so powerful, and that's the reason why she wasn't able to kill Shigaraki in a single blow. That was the limit of what her strength could be. Though if we are going Hunter x Hunter, I do think it could be interesting if, the actual limit is more mental. Like, she only believes she can be so strong because that's as strong as she believes All Might to be. And she doesn't think anyone, even her, can be stronger than All Might because of how much she adores and praises and loves and idolizes All Might. I mean, maybe that would make a certain amount of sense and would definitely go with the whole Hunter x Hunter theme they seem to be going for with the text here. But anyway, it's also explained her quirk has more power over inanimate objects rather than sentient beings with their own name and identity. And this is actually rather interesting because Shigaraki says, hey, I wonder what happened if she called my dog by his name Mon, which, I mean, for one thing, it's interesting because, would a dog be recognized by his own name, by the name we choose to give him? Or would he, just be able to call him dog and have the same effect? I'm not sure about that. But more than that, though, he's referring to his dog, he's referring to his past, and his dog really does feel like a symbol for his innocence, symbol for his humanity, symbol for the last bit of himself that was a good, normal, ordinary kid before, he just broke and went absolutely freaking crazy. So if he is thinking about his dog again, could it be that there is actually some remnant of Shimura, of the good, kind-hearted young boy used to be down deep inside of him? I mean, maybe. Like I said before, I could definitely see, him coming out and basically teaming with Deku to fight All for One, and then getting reverted back to childhood self by Eri, having all the awful memories erased from his mind, and, just getting a second chance. I know a lot of people might not like that, but I could definitely see that. But anyway, though, then she turns the air into her own shape, but 1,000 times bigger. And it's actually rather interesting. Even Shigaraki, with all his various quirks, isn't really able to see what's happening here. He can kind of feel, but he's not really sure exactly what it is he's feeling until it punches him and then slaps him between his hands. And then he gets impaled by all the lasers combining together into one giant super laser, which, okay, two things. First off, that feels like two things. That feels like two rules. She has the one rule to make a giant version of herself, and she's using the second rule to actually combine the lasers into one. So could it be she's not actually using the first order to amplify herself? I mean, that would make sense, because she does actually seem damaged after she does that. I mean, for the first time in this fight, she actually looks beat up. Even her suit looks beat up. So did she lose the protection she was putting on herself and use it to, make this giant sword to stab Shigaraki? I think that's quite possible. And if so, it could definitely lead to Shigaraki, coming in and murdering her because she doesn't have anything to defend herself right now. But anyway, second important thing is, she said that this blast was only apparently as powerful as Endeavor's was, which, wow, Endeavor's strong. Endeavor is seriously strong if he's capable of this much firepower. Firepower the equivalent of half a dozen military jets firing their lasers all at once. Oh, I love it. But anyway, then she calls up Akbar and requests the missiles. And, it definitely seems like this is going to end rather poorly for her. As he explains, the stunt will lose you more than just your license. I mean, she is, basically committing a war crime. She's sending missiles to attack a foreign nation that she is not currently at war with. Honestly, even if she was at war with Japan, this goes well beyond the authority of anyone except basically the president. Only the president has the power to, send missiles to attack a foreign nation at any point without a whole bunch of approval. So, yeah, I'm kind of actually curious what would happen to her if this did actually end the fight, if this was actually enough to stop Shigaraki once and for all. I mean, she's the number one hero in America. I can't really imagine, they'd have too much of an issue with her, sending missiles to go attack a villain on the other side of the planet. I think there'd be a lot of public outcry, a lot of public support for her, trying to get her hero license back, trying to get her out of jail, trying to stop her from being, sentenced to death, because, yeah, this definitely feels like a capital crime, the kind of thing, that will get you the death penalty, especially in America. Only in America, but please, link all down below. What do you think's gonna happen next? I mean, we have all these, super, super high-powered missiles coming to attack Shigaraki. Was this part of All for One's plan? Did he want the missiles to come after him? Is he planning using the missiles somehow, some way against Stars and Stripe, against America, against the rest of the world? Oh, that would be interesting if he actually redirects the missiles and has them go attack other nations. So then Miss Star and Stripe would have actually attacked the entire world with missiles. Oh, that's a much, much different scenario, and one that would have much less public support, so that could be interesting. If he does end up winning this fight, if he doesn't end up surviving the missiles, what's going to happen next? I mean, do you think he'll actually get Miss Star and Stripe's quirk? And if so, how would he use it? I mean, I said before, I think there's a good chance that her own limitations are how she views All Might, and because, Shigaraki doesn't have those same limitations, and because he's absolutely freaking insane, he could use the quirk in very, very different ways with far few limitations, and it could be terrifying. It could be truly, truly terrifying, but I think just too much power. I don't think Shigaraki would actually obtain his quirk because it would just make him too broken, even for Deku and all the quirks of One for All. So, yeah, that seems unlikely. And, just please, link all this down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next video, and until then, peace!